Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass the Move. And for today's episode, we are starting, or rather restarting, an old series, which unfortunately didn't get to kick off. It's called England Empire, or is it Empire England? Either way, what happened was that when I first started off Football Manager 2017, there was a bit of a bug whenever I played with the national team. It seemed like I couldn't select certain players and the game would just shut down for some reason, and so unfortunately that series ended really quickly, within one episode's time basically. But I think now it's fine. I've played with England before, so I figured why not do an actual series on it for you guys to see and continue an old series at the same time. But also it's always fun playing with England, and why not enjoy it with you guys, share the experience with you guys. And I always kind of seem to do quite decently with England. If you're wondering what happened with the travel time series, where we're currently with Southampton, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not really enjoying that save anymore. I don't know, I can't really seem to get into it again. It's because I've taken quite a break from it for focusing on the tactics and team guide for you guys, and so it's been probably a good month now I haven't touched that save, and when I tried to get into it, I did make an episode again to try and get into it again, but it just really hasn't worked out. So we're just going to play with England. Now, as you can see here, we have to select the squad for one match against Slovenia, the World Cup qualifiers. We haven't played a single one of them yet. This is literally just the beginning. I figured I could select the team and just sort of the tactics myself, but I figured why not, for the first episode at least, we'll be showing you what tactics we'll be choosing on the basis of what, and what players we're going to be picking for the team, how we go about picking them, and maybe give you a bit of couple of tips on how to pick your national team. Not a lot of people play with the national team, and it can be really exciting, whether you're playing with England or not. It's always a lot of fun. So one of the first things I did was actually go to the scouting pool, and let me get rid of these. And one of the things I do is exclude the England players in the English national pool, and players ineligible for England. You don't have any players out of the scouting range anyways, because it's not really a scouting range. And as you can see here, they're all already rated pretty much. And what I did was I just select everyone. This doesn't actually happen. I just selected everyone, put them all into the national pool, and that way they're automatically rated. And then I get rid of whoever I don't think is good enough. So for me, anyone that's just only a decent rating for the national team shouldn't be selected for the national team, basically. We'll only be selecting as well, another criteria, only selecting players who are in the Premier League, and I will only be selecting English players who have played half of the available Premier League games rather, minimum. Hopefully, of course, I'd rather English players who have played every single game, possibly 2/3 of the games available of the 38, but just about half is decent. If you've played 16 Premier League games, for example, in the season, why not get selected? Of course, it depends a little bit on your ability, as it does on your form, and I suppose your rating and whether you suit the team or not. So there's a couple of other things to select a team on. But yeah, we have 23 players to select, so we'll be starting off with our goalkeepers. I've sorted out according to ability, and just on the basis of our first 11 players or so, just like we always make our tactics, we select the best 11 and try and make a team out of them. So just by looking at it, we've got 2 strikers, defensive midfielder, essential midfielder, another striker, winger, an attacking midfielder, goalkeeper, another attacking midfielder. It just seems that the most sense is to play not a 4-3-3 as my assistant suggests, but actually to play a 4-4-2 diamond. That seems to make the most sense. Now you can also possibly play a 4-4-2 because you do have wingers and whatnot, but I don't really want to play a direct style of play with this England team. I think stacking the midfield and playing a possession-based tactic will suit us best, so I'll be going forward with that. I'm just going to quickly make the tactics that I'll be using here. You guys can see it for yourselves as well. 4-4-2 diamond. We'll be doing this one control rather. Lower, shorter, be more expressive, run for position. So hopefully we'll be keeping possession based on our formation, but also based on our team instructions should help us out with that as well. For the last one, we'll go overload just for the sake of trying to win the game if necessary, but I'm hoping it won't reach to that point. So according to team shape and the player roles and whatnot, we'll see according to which players we're calling up basically and who can play where essentially. So let's go back to selecting the team. So we've got our formation. Now we know where we need to pick our players from. So first off, let's start with our goalkeepers. These are all the English goalkeepers we've got so far. It's a bit of a long process here, so just bear with me. So what I normally do is actually call them up to the B team. That way you get a bit of a clearer view of Jack Butland's out for a while. I think that's from the beginning of the game. That way their ability is sorted out a little bit better. Sometimes the the screen here doesn't show the correct ability, so it's sorted out a little bit better now. And we've got these players here who seem to be the best. So we've got 4 goalkeepers and we only need 3. Joe Hart should definitely be selected, and now it's between Fraser Forster, Tom Heaton, Ben Foster. So we just have to double check everyone's in the Premier League. He's already played 2 games of the Premier League. So is Tom Heaton and Ben Foster. So all of them have, and we'll have a quick look at how many games of the Premier League have been playing so far. I think 2 is just about right. It is. Okay, so I think we have a bit decision to make basically. So I think if we rate it on the average rating, so 6.35 for Ben Foster, not too good, 7.3 for Tom Heaton, and a 6.8. So it looks like Ben Foster will miss out on this being called up to the national team. And there you've got our players, our goalkeepers. Now we can move on to our fullbacks, left backs and right backs. And let's just get rid of the players in the B team. Alright, there you go. We don't want all sides, we want it to be a bit organized. So these are all the left backs, a couple of them under 21s. We want to leave them as is, don't really want to bug them too much. Don't want to call them up too early or anything like that. But for example, Joe Gomez, he is a central defender. We can squeeze him into the main team, I suppose. I don't really necessarily need to call him into the B team, because if he's in the under 21s, his ability rating is almost always correct, so I don't have to worry too much about that. So let's go back again. Sorry, there you go. Alright, so there you go. These are our 3 stars. These are our best rated players, all left backs, so it's great. There's a ton of competition here. We just have to see whether they've been playing the games. So Luke Shaw's been playing his games. So is Danny Rose, 7.5. So is Ryan Bertrand and Leighton Baines have all played. But it looks like Baines missing out this time just based on his average rating. And I think it might just be Bertrand and Rose who get called up for this. Unfortunately, Luke Shaw. Well, Luke Shaw's done incredibly well as well. It might be Danny Rose who misses out. All 3 are incredible fullbacks. It's really unfortunate to have to drop any of them, but we're just going to have to do that, really. If we can quickly go... Right, there you go. Right, let's remove all the players from the England B team a lot quicker this way. National pool and the right backs. Don't worry, we will get into a game here. We'll play the first game against Slovenia. I just figured rather than just picking players and then you guys wondering why I picked certain players and whatnot, you actually get to see the process of me picking the players I want. So I think the B team can only take 30 players. So if we go... Alright, there you go. Get rid of these 2. And there you go. Alright, so a lot of these so-called right backs are actually centre backs, and I'd rather than playing right back because I don't think I'm comfortable. Dyer, we definitely need him in defensive midfield. He'll be our best one. Stones, Keane, Jones, it all just makes sense to keep them as centre backs. So it looks like we've only got 2 choices in Klein and Walker. Obviously, there's other choices as well, but in terms of ability, these 2 trump best. They have played their Premier League games and they haven't performed horribly. In fact, they've all got ratings of 7 and above, so that's pretty much good enough for me. So we'll call them both up. And that's our right back sorted as well. So we can move on to our centre backs. I'm just removing this so that way there's no right backs when we go to our centre backs. There you go. Alright, let's leave Dyer out of that. We need about 35. Get rid of this, and Bertrand. There you go. 30 players, perfect. Just remember to click on one of them and go back. That way it rearranges according to ability. So there you go, we've got Smalling, Stones, Keane, Jones and Shawcross, all of 3-star rating. Anyone else just doesn't make sense to pick them. We've got 5 options here, so why do we need to go into lower ability? Smalling, he's only played one appearance, but he has played in Community Shield, so that helps a little bit. He might be the player to miss out though. John Stone's already played in the Champions League as well as the Premier Division. It's likely he will be called up. Keane, it's bad form, but at least he's played the game, so it makes more sense than playing Smalling. Jones, he's only made 2 substitute appearances, but again, better than Smalling. And Shawcross finally definitely a starter for Stoke. So it looks like Smalling will miss out. I think we can possibly pick someone else in a lower ability, but for now, it's still early in the season. I don't want to make too huge a deal about who I call up just yet, because of course, we haven't gotten into the groove of the Premier League basically. Yes, it's a bit harsh on some of the players, but you just have to be fair, I suppose. All right, so defensive midfielders. Normally what I like to do is have my defensive midfielders, attacking midfielders and my central midfielders all together, but it is a bit hard to do it that way because there's too many numbers now. So unfortunately, whoever's a good enough winger for the national team is just going to have to miss out, just because of he's going to have to hope that he can play in different formations basically, different positions rather. There are wingers we've got in an England team who can play as attacking midfielders, so we can possibly consider them. Alright, so it looks like we've got Dyer and Henderson. If we have a quick look at the central midfielder as well, it looks like Henderson's one of the top ones, but Lallana and Rooney can play there. We've got Wilshere, Drinkwater, so I think we can get away with playing Henderson and Dyer as our main defensive midfielders. If wanted or if needed, we can play what's his name? Henderson in central midfield. I could possibly call Carrick as well. He has played his games. Dyer, normally I would not accept a 6.4 average rating, but again, just because it's the beginning of the season, I do want to give the players with ability just a chance for now. It is just one game we're playing in the national team. Obviously, there's a big gap in quality as well, so that's what's making me reconsider his form. But normally, once we get into the season, he wouldn't be selected if he's got 6.4 below. It doesn't matter what his rating is. We really need to stick to players that are playing and players that are playing well as well. Alright, so now we've got our central midfielders to pick from. We just need 31 and then get rid of... Oh, okay, got a couple of extra ones here. There you go. Alright, let's see what central midfielders we can pick. So, Dele Alli, probably definitely going to be picked. Lallana, Wilshere. I think in this type of thing we have to consider the attacking midfielders as well, so maybe we should see who else needs to be considered. I think it would be a bit unfair. Let's take him out of the equation for now. Alright, so we've gone down to about 3-star rating. These are 3-star ratings here. Got 7 players. We just need 4 central midfielders. We've got 2 defensive midfielders, 4 central midfielders would be great, 2 starters, 2 backups, just in case anything. Now this is where we need to consider where to play Dele Alli. Do we want him as a midfielder or an attacking midfielder? Where do we see him? I think for now we've got plenty of attacking midfielders in Lallana and Rooney, so we can consider Dele Alli as a central midfielder who will be one of the starters because he's got a star rating. We want to try and play Ali and Lallana together, so this makes the most sense right now. Maybe when Lallana drops off, we can push Ali up and have other players playing his position. So I think we can take off Lallana from this rating as well as Rooney. That way we've got 5 players. We just need to get rid of 1 according to form and game time. Dele Alli's played 1 game. Wilshere's played 2, but horribly. Drinkwater 2, not great, but not, just quiet performances. Barkley's the same and Carrick's the same. So I think Wilshere's just going to have to miss out on the basis of horrible performances. Probably due to his team itself, but, I guess that's unfortunate. Go to attacking midfielders. I think it's pretty much straightforward with Rooney and Lallana, but we just want to double check so we don't miss out on giving anyone else a chance that they might deserve. Let's try all the way here. Oh, what's going on? Alright, let's get rid of these lot. So as you can tell, the player names are red, and they're red for a reason. The reason is, if you haven't noticed already in the game, that when they go red, that means you've shortlisted them. So the reason, oh good god, the reason why I've shortlisted them is because that way my coaches and my staff, they all, oh by the way, I've sorted out my staff, I forgot to tell you guys that, that's the only thing I did since the start of the game. So yeah, the reason to shortlist them is so my staff follow their form, and that way I get a better idea on who to pick and who not to pick. So it looks like our 3-star ratings are all the above here. We only need 2 of them, so unfortunately some of the others will miss out. We'll tick off Saido Berahino because he'll probably be a striker instead. Don't necessarily need him as an attacking midfielder. Lallana, Wilshere, Sterling, Lingard and Rooney seem to be the decent shouts. I would go for Lallana and Rooney based on just that their natural ability to play there. Wilshere already have to take out of the equation because of his poor form. Sterling, he's only made 1 substitute appearance. Lingard, the same as well, and it was a horrible one. Rooney's played horribly, but at least he's played, so we'll go with these 2 for now. Hopefully, as the season goes on, we'll get a better, clear picture of who to include as our players and who not to include. Just as I mentioned, based on form, and the ability will change as well. Don't think that necessarily the ability you're seeing right now is 100% true. Even after putting them in the B team, sometimes the coaches that you have at disposal or your staff, their minds, their judgment will change. They'll think the players change themselves as well. But yeah, I just have to trust my staff at the moment, so I don't really have a choice. Just doing it on the basis of that, and that's all. So it looks like we're down to 3 stars. We already got our front 3 of Vardy, Kane and Sturridge without a doubt. Those should be selected. Yeah, so that leaves us with Austin, Trini, Rashford should be considered as well. He's 3 stars. He's in the under 21s. We could possibly call him up. Sterling, I'm not necessarily a fan of as a striker. I think he'll miss out as well. Redmond, not a complete natural as a striker either. Berahino, we've got plenty of options, so we don't need to consider anyone who's not naturally a striker. Walcott, naturally a striker, but I'd consider him more of a winger, but we'll give him a chance. Rooney off as well, so there you go. We've got 10 strikers to pick from, and we just need 4, so that's great. So actually, these 3 already picked up, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to pick from, and just 1 striker needed. Austin's played 1 game, 1 substitute appearance, 6.8 ratings, not bad. 2, 6.8. Rashford hasn't even played, so let's take him out of the equation entirely. Berahino 2 and a 7.6. I think he'll be the one who we call up. And unless Defoe's done something amazing. No. Alright, so it looks like Berahino will be involved with this as well, which is great. He's a player with potential as well. And I think that's our team pretty much sorted. I know that's taken a while, and I'm sorry about that, but I just figured it makes sense to go with you guys through 1 by 1. If you don't want to see that in any of the other episodes, just let me know in the comment section below, and that'll be fine with me. So let's confirm the squad. We'll move on. We've got a match in 9 days' time. Of course, some of the players will be, just so you bear in mind, so you don't, give in to the media. They'll always judge your calls, so it doesn't matter. Just pick who you want to pick, and that's it. They're going to judge you anyways, is basically the motto. But yeah, we've got 8 days to just quickly sim through, if you guys don't mind. Alright guys, welcome back. It's taken forever, but we are finally here, ready to play Slovenia. And at Wembley, of course, World Cup European qualifying section, first game, first one, so we really want to get a good start. Joe Hart is the only player without a bit of fitness. I don't think he's really played for Torino just yet. I think pretty much over the next couple of years, expect Joe Hart to really fall out of the pecking order for games. But for now, still the best in terms of ability, so we'll be playing him. So this is the team we've got. These are the best players at our disposal. Initially, I did say that Dyer and Henderson will be competing for the defensive midfielder spot, but I realized they're both one of the best, best midfielders around. So we wanted to make a midfield made up of Dyer, Henderson, Ali, and Lallana, and that's our best 3-star ratings there. So it looks like Carrick will be the defensive midfielder instead. We've got Barkley as well as Drinkwater to make up the central midfield numbers. Rooney, of course, the attacking midfielder as well. As you can see, the bench is pretty much just 3-star players, and most of the first team is 3 stars and a half players. A couple of 3s, of course, defense not really are. Strong points. Some of these players, actually, the first team, is what I base on who's performed best, as well as ability, of course, but who's performed best. So players such as Klein and Walker are the same ability, but Klein's had better form. And the same can be said about Shaw and Bertrand, even though Bertrand's a little bit unfortunate to miss out. So it looks like I forgot what I was gonna say. Let's just kick off. Actually, sorry, we need to sort out some of these roles actually. So Kane, complete forward on support. We'll have Vardy as an advanced forward. Lallana as an advanced playmaker on attack is the best thing. Dyer, defensive midfielder, is great, but I'd rather him play as a halfback. That way the wing backs can really push up. But can he do that role? Does have vision, tackling, technique? I think he can. You know what? Let's do that. Let's try the halfback here. We'll need to play a ball-winning midfielder. Can either of these players do it? No. I think Henderson's best as a box-to-box, so let's just use him as is. Even the ball-winning midfielder is probably best, but you know, just leave him in his more comfortable role. Why not? Let's move in. You know what? He can do a ball-winning midfielder role quite well. Yep. You know what? I'm just gonna do it. You know, just ball-winning midfielders try and win back possession, so that's just how it's going to help us basically. I think for Dele Alli, we can play a central midfielder on attack. Pretty sure he can do that role quite comfortably, as you can see here. But advanced playmaker on attack is a decent shout too. The problem is we've already got an advanced playmaker, so our options are either play Lallana as an advanced playmaker on attack, or play him as a trequartista and play Ali as an advanced playmaker on attack. And I think we'll do that because even though Ali's got the finishing for central midfielder on attack, does advanced playmaker on attack use that? No, it doesn't. I'm torn, you know. I think we'll do that actually. Let's leave Lallana in his preferred role, see if he performs. If not, we can switch it around anyways. Stones can play as a ball-playing defender, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's got the vision passing, why not? Shawcross, apparently best as defensive centre-back, so let's see. Does he have the mentals though? He does have the mentals. You're mental for suggesting Shawcross can't play there. Alright, that was horrible. Anyways. I forgot which way it's supposed to work. If we've got a support role here. No, we need a support role here. So let's play a wing back. No, let's play a complete forward on support, for sure. And a wing back on attack. And there you go, we've got two fullbacks flying forward. And let's see how we get on. Actually, I forgot we're playing counter, so you know what? Let's start off with control. Normally I play counter and then push up into control, but let's just start off with control and see how it goes. Sort out the details later. Now that I know my team, I can pretty much sort out their roles and their tactics and whatnot a little bit better. But we'll save that for the next video. Let's just get into the game now. I feel like I've tortured you guys enough. For some reason, everyone's morale is horrible. That's not helpful. Let's do that. Let's see if that helps. Great, so in my first game in charge of England, it looks like everyone's in some horrible mood. And we would do well to come away with a result here. Really, the expectations are on us to win. And I expect the same from my team. I don't think Slovenia, they are of course a good team, we can't dismiss that. But we are at home and we do have a really good team, so I expect more. But yeah, it's still just 6 minutes time. It looks like we're going to get a highlight already, and hopefully it's in our favour. Stones wins it, Lallana's got it, the advanced playmaker. He finds Kane quite easily, he finds Ali, and Ali's forward now. Finds Klein though, and the fullback, can he put a good ball into the box? He can, but unfortunately it doesn't amount to anything. And Henderson finds Ali, can he shoot? Instead it's for Kane, and Kane shoots and scores. And there you go, that's the first goal of my error. And, not error. And that's 1-0 for England through none other than Harry Kane. Dele Alli assisting as well. There you go, the Tottenham boys coming together and rescuing England. Not really rescuing, I mean we are just winning, but it's not like we were in trouble. But either way, good start. The point is good start. Alright. Come on, can we get a second is the question. We really want to dominate this game. We're doing well in terms of the stats. 6 shots to their 1, 61% possession, and again Stones rising above. But it is Campbell who comes away with it. Bursa switches sides, goes to Illich. Can we win it back, boys? Come on. Instead it's Jokic who finds Rotman, and they're just really passing the ball around. We can't seem to win it, but Klein has enough of that. Lallana's on his way, finds Vardy, he's through. Can he score, Vardy? Yes, he can, of course. How can I even doubt that? That's 2-0 to England. Vardy and Kane are both our two strikers, getting the best out of our team. We wanted to play with two strikers up top because that's where we've got our most survivability. Our midfield's strong as well, and we're hoping that will compensate for our lack of real quality, I suppose. We've got some decent quality, but not real quality in defence. Plenty of protection as well. Klein, freedom of coming up as much as he wants. Vardy's managed to score as well. That's 3-0 to England. I'm pretty sure that's game over now. But yeah, that's why I wanted to play the halfback so badly, because it allows our wingbacks to push all the way up forward. You cannot do that in a 4-3-3 because you've got wingers there already. It doesn't make sense. But in a 4-4-2 diamond, halfback is the best role you can play for your defensive midfielder. I can guarantee it. But it looks like Slovenia. Oh, Hearts dealt with that well. I thought it was going to be half time already. Why hasn't he blown the whistle? Either way, you cannot do that in a 4-3-3. Because you've got wingers, so the fullbacks can't really push up forward. I can guarantee you a halfback at defensive midfield is the best thing you could do in a 4-4-2 diamond. And as you just saw, that's exactly why. So Klein's, it's not showing here. I'll actually show you when we're done with this little bit here. Morale's improved slightly. Maybe I shouldn't have been really assertive just yet. See, they've had to switch up formations just because how much we've dominated them. They had to stack up the midfield, stack up the defense as well. And, you know, we have to keep an eye on them making a comeback, I suppose, because of their formation change. They're still playing defensive, though, so I'm sure they've assumed the game's over, and I would assume so, too. So, as you can see, Klein got an assist. Dele Alli from midfield as well as Lallana. So, that's how helpful it is playing a halfback and just letting everyone else run around and have their fun, basically. But yeah, I would assume the clock would just tick down until the end, really, and we'll be looking to make some substitutions from the 60th minute onward, just like I always like to do. It's 10 minutes, you know, 60, 70, and 80. And now I have to warn my players to not be complacent, which is a bit unfortunate. I'm not too worried. Still 3-1, but also we have to bear in mind that's a set piece goal and not a goal from open play, so we can't overthink things tactically just yet. Not too much you can do tactically when it comes to set pieces. So let's have a look at who should sub off. No one's had a horrible game, but Stones and Shortcross have had quiet games, which is not too good. Might switch them around, that might help. In terms of players who are tired, no one just yet, so we can go on to the 70th minute. Alright, who's looking tired now? No one having a horrible game just yet either. Can take off Dyer for Carrick. Why not give Carrick a couple of games? Klein's tired as well. Take him off for Walker. And there you go. We'll make our last substitution in the 80th minute. Now, there's been a bit of a theory that you can't make all three subs in one go because it kind of disrupts the flow of the game. The game is realistic in that sense, but I would say don't overthink it. You know, it's not end of the world if you make all three substitutions, but it definitely works a little bit better if you do just keep, you know, make 1 or 2 subs max. Anyways, we won the ball back, and now there's Vardy who's through on goal. Can he find someone, or is he going to go all the way? Instead, he does go all the way, and there you go. That's a Vardy hat-trick in our first game in charge. And who else but Vardy? And there you go. That's Shaw who gets assists. So both our fullbacks really making an impact, and that's pretty much what we wanted. Alright, so out of all the tired players who had the best game, it is Shaw. We'll take off Shaw. Let him get a standing ovation at Wembley after a great season so far. But I will stress on so far because it's very, very early on the season. The likelihood is a couple of these players won't actually make the team next time around. But yeah, we've got some decent players, and this is a great start against one of the top teams in our division, I suppose. Dele Alli makes it 5. So yeah, if you are interested in playing with England, then I would suggest this formation. As you can see, the tactic does work. You can maybe mess around with the rules a little bit differently according to, you know, how you want to play it, and of course pick the players that you want to pick. But you know, the tactic I showed you guys, please feel free to use it. Consider this a tactics and team guide episode at the same time. But anyways, 5-1 is how it ends, and just incredible. morale's improved amazingly, and as you can see, Slovenia, Scotland and Slovakia the teams to look out for. Lithuania a little bit tricky. Malta should be the whipping boys of the group, but I would say we should comfortably qualify from this, and after today's performance I can't help but be optimistic, even though it's incredibly early and we still have 9 games to go. Either way though, that is the end of today's episode, so if you did enjoy it then please do of course hit the like button and subscribe for more Daily Football Manager 2017 content. And as always, thank you guys for watching, but just a quick note, you know, when we play cup football we always come back within 4 to 5 games time. I would say it would make a little bit more sense because of how far apart these games are for me to come back pretty much every international break kind of. So we'll be showing you Lithuania and Malta next episode rather, and you know, just keep an eye on that basically. And Scotland will come next, and then Slovenia, and then Slovakia, and so on. If we happen to feel like we've already, you know, qualified or whatever, we'll just move forward into other ones. But right now, the aim is to qualify for the World Cup, of course, and do really well in Russia. Anyways, definitely that will be the end of it. So thank you all for watching again, and yeah, just thank you guys for watching, I guess.